Hello, everybody. This is Elena of the Witch's Box for another Friday live guided meditation. We do this every week here on YouTube. And yeah, Friday, 10 o'clock Pacific time. We do this every Friday. We get together, we do guided meditation, we hang out, and it's really just an opportunity to practice together and kind of weave all of our energy together in a collective ritual that kind of brings us into the weekend, takes us into the week, all the things. So let's do the usual, which is I check in with you. I know that there are a few of you already here just to see, can you hear me? What's going on? Does this come through loud and clear? And then we can go from there. For those of you who are catching this on the replay, we have this all time stamped. So you can go ahead and just skip through the preliminaries if you want and just go straight to the meditation, which I suggest that you do if you're going to use these over and over again over time. And in a little bit, after we've kind of gotten through the preliminary hellos and all the things, I'll go into what we're doing today, the intention and all the good things. Heather, good morning. I'm so glad that you finally made it. I love seeing new names here. It's wonderful. Yeah, good morning. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes and see where you all at. Check in, tell me how you're doing, and then I'm going to go into what we're going to be doing today. Today's meditation is about the fire and will. We're going to be working with the fire element. It is a like a support track to the work that we have been doing with the Witch's Box this month. The box this month was the Mars Planetary Magic Box, or the Mars Magic Box. And we had our deep dive gathering, oh gosh, 2 days ago, right? Wednesday, today's Friday? Yeah, we had it on Wednesday. And I mentioned this as an energetic support practice to use as a way of fueling your will and fueling a very particular power point in your body. We're going to talk a little bit about that before we do the meditation, but I just want to give you like a little summary and then we're going to go from there. So, oh my goodness. So hello, Finland. Hello, UK. Wonderful. Georgia. Wonderful. Oh my gosh. Amazing. All over the world. Georgia, the country, or Georgia, the state? I think it's Georgia, the country, because that's a flag that I don't recognize. That's amazing. Welcome. Beautiful. Oh my God, Jamie, can you see it? It's happening. It looks like my hair is literally floating on my head because they're coming. And I think that today, for those of you who don't know, Jamie is pointing out that my roots are growing out because I've decided to just go natural, which I've probably changed my mind about this about 80 times a second in the last however many weeks. But I will probably go ahead and do my very first going gray video vlog after I get off of here. I'll record it, and those are going to be over on my personal YouTube channel that has nothing on it right now. But I think that I'm diving in. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. So there you go. Tuning in from Loomy Island, Washington. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. The country, amazing. I don't know that we've ever had anyone from Georgia join us that I know of, so welcome. That's amazing. Tasha, welcome. Los Angeles, you're just a couple of hours away from me. Wonderful. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to wait for, I don't know. Emily, if you're here, let me know. I don't know if she's here yet, but I'm going to wait for Emily to show up, and then we're going to go from there. Today comes with some visuals, and it's a meditation that, well, I'm going to just go into it. Let's do it. So as I said before, this month we focused on Mars magic, or planetary magic, for the Witch's Box. And this was one of the exercises that I made mentioned in our Wednesday deep dive as a supportive practice for when you want to ignite and give your willpower or your will that extra boost before you do a manifestation ritual or a spell of any sort. I'm going to talk a little bit about, no worries, Emily, welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, Botswana. I mean, what? Botswana is here. I love it. Welcome. Okay. So I'm going to give a little explanation. In the Ayurvedic health system, which is a Hindu-derived or East Indian healing system, it's not similar to Chinese medicine, but it's as old as Chinese medicine, much older than our Western practice. Most of us are familiar with chakras in some way. It comes from the Ayurvedic system, and chakras are power centers in our bodies. Different Hindu sects and lineages speak to there being different chakra systems than the one that we are really most familiar with here in the West. And that's okay. It's not my point or my intention to ever go into like a long extracted teaching on all of those things. However, extracted wasn't the right word, but you know what I mean. I haven't had enough coffee today. Okay, it's not my intention to go into a long teaching on chakras at all, but for the purposes of fire and for the purposes of will and for the purpose of continuing to do work where we are incorporating the energy streams in our bodies more, we're going to go there today. So there are 7 chakras in that particular system, and your solar plexus, which is, you have your rib cage and you've got your chest bone that kind of ends right at that peak right above your stomach. Right there in that area is where your solar plexus chakra is. This is the seat of fire, and this is the seat of your will. Okay. So when we do magic, when we do manifestation spells, right, or work, we are in many ways enacting our will into the reality that we want to create. I want this, and I, out of my own volition, am taking steps to call this in, to bring it in, to create it in my world, right? Or in whatever world you're doing your magic in. And that requires a certain amount of fire. Fire is that spark. Fire is that initiator. We talked a lot about initiation in our deep dive on Wednesday. Fire is a component. It's like one of the key ingredients that sparks us off, but it's also a massive builder of energy. Oftentimes we feel very depleted. Our lives are all the things that they are, and replenishing these power sources in our lives and replenishing the way certain elements fuel us is important. So this is a meditation that would help with that. I recommend this meditation when you want to set a goal and you want to set it very intentionally and you want to kick it off with a spell or you want to kick it off with some sort of ritual. Doing this meditative practice prior to kicking that off can be incredibly powerful because you are aligning the energy of your body along with your intention, which is spiritual and mental and psychological. You're aligning all those things in order to give that spell or that choice or that goal setting that extra oomph to get you there, because you're kicking off your own personal willpower to make it happen. It's a motivator, it's a mover. Okay, so this is a meditation that's really great for that. I recommend doing these things or this particular meditation prior to any kind of spell in that way or any kind of initiation in that way. 2 things. I'm going to give you one variation, and we're going to do one variation of this meditation first, and then you are free to experiment with the other variation of it as you want. And the reason for it is this: we're going to visualize, instead of fire, we're going to visualize the color, because this is, you're working with the energies of your body. We don't talk a lot about this, but your body is a massive magical tool, and we don't use it. Usually we are all up here, always. And it's very challenging to remember to come back and to habituate being fully in our bodies and using the energy streams in our bodies to do the things that we do in the world. Okay. You're doing it whether you think you are or not, but there is something to be said about mastery over how you use your energy and how that's integrated with your body. Okay. I'm giving you 2 variations because if we are envisioning a spark of fire that we keep fueling and fueling and fueling in our stomach area, it can kick off physical symptoms. Okay. Sometimes, depending on what your constitution is, depending on what's going on with you health-wise, it can actually kick off things like heartburn and a little too much. So we're going to start with a variation where you are just envisioning the color of flame. And I'm going to give you an example of the color that I want you to envision. So there is some visualization here in this meditation, but we're going to start that way so that you can slowly begin to feel your way through, like, how is my body going to respond to this? You will have a physical response. You may not, but chances are you're going to have something shift physically in you from doing this meditation. So it's really important to be your own scientist and really check in with what's this doing to me specifically, physically? Is it doing anything to me specifically? If you feel like you can go a little further, then practice with the fire. And if you do this meditation with fire and you feel like, ugh, I feel a little, I don't know, then just pull back and let your body grow bigger around it so that when you do it next time, you have the capacity for just a little bit more. The other thing is that, like everything, a little can be a healing balm, and then too much can be a poison, right? So this is fire that we're working with. You don't have to do this for hours and hours and hours. It can be a short meditation where you just kind of kick off a spark. You might already have a lot of fire in this part of your body. So this is about really beginning to pay very detailed, intimate attention to your body and how the energy is moving specifically in you, because what it's going to be for me is going to be very different for you, right? This is how we become our own personal priestess. I can never say it with the X, but you know what I mean. Our own personal priests around how we manage our magic and our energy and our spiritual and magical evolution. Okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to take a drink and I'm going to read what's happening because there's all sorts of talks going on here. Let's see. Yes, planetary magic. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so I'm going to say Mfo. Preston. Planetary magic, we just did Mars. We still have a couple of Mars boxes on sale. You can check that out at the website. We also have Saturn box and a Sun box. We have 3 of our planetary magic boxes left. When you buy them, you also get a link to the recording class, which is we call the deep dive gathering, for each of those. So there's that. Hello, Jolmar. Welcome. Delayed, but that you're here. It's all good. Maria, good morning. You and this channel are a huge knowledge source for me as a solitary who woke after the Lionsgate of 2020. You are stunning. Oh, thank you so much. And welcome and congratulations for coming into this space for yourself. That's amazing. Wonderful. Okay, let me take a drink. Thank you, Emily. Emily just posted a link to our products so that you can check out if you're interested in the boxes. We ship everywhere. So there you go. Okay, so this is a sneak peek. This is a visual so that you have an easier time visualizing specifically the color that I really want you to visualize when you're in the meditation. And this is like a 3-fer. This is also a request for some energetic support about something specific, because this is how we roll here. This color, do you see this gorgeous color? And how it varies, almost like flame, but it's deeper, it's darker. This is the color that I want you to visualize. So it is orange, but it's also red. It's super dark. So it's kind of a burnt orange, but it's deep and it's varied and it's complex. So do you see that? It's really gorgeous. So I don't know if it's going to focus here. Let's do this. Did it focus? No, I don't know. So there it is. And this is a sneak peek to the fire element box that we're going to be sending out for the month of September. I don't even know what month we're in right now. But also we're having some trouble. We've gotten half of the shipment and the vendor is having trouble getting us the second half of the shipment. So can we all please send the witch's box, the vendor, the stones, the box itself, some major manifestation energy that the second half of this shipment arrives, because holy cow, it's already super late. So come back to me though, and this is the color. How do I get it to, there we go, to focus. Perfect. So this is the color that I want you to envision, right? With all its variances. It's really beautiful and very, like, there's depth there. Yeah. And then again, I think I will probably in the middle of the meditation also give you a little prompt that if you're going to work with flame, that's the point to work with flame, so that you can do that later. And I think that's it. Are there any questions before we start? I don't really have any other announcements to give. We can talk about announcements if they come up to mind at the end. Okay. All right. What time is it? We're doing good. Oh, Marcy, hi, welcome. It looks like it's a different name for you, but I see the FF 1378, which I recognize. I'm getting better. It's only been 4 years, but I'm getting better at recognizing all of your your handles, at least some of them. And yes, thank you for the compliment about the silver. It's happening. So there'll be more about that, I think, either on Instagram or YouTube or both or something, because it's a thing. All right, get comfortable. What kind of stone in it? The stone is carnelian. We've been working with carnelian. This is the second month that we'll be working with carnelian, because we have carnelian in, oh my goodness, in the July. This is so sad. Um, yeah, the July Mars box. Holy cow. It's, and I say this all the time. I'm always confused because the month that we're all at right now is not the month that I'm at. I'm like 2 months ahead. So it's always hard for me both to remember what month it is and what box was what month and what box we're even on, because I'm, yeah, I'm in a different schedule. I need to always have like a note. We are literally in August. We are on this box. And in any case, we sent out carnelian chips for the Mars box. So to encourage, because we've been working with different elements for the last few months, where I think several months ago, I sent crystal chips out for another box where we talked about how to use those chips to create energetic mists that you put into the actual liquid. So that's what those are sent out for this last month. And then the carnelian flamestone is obviously because it's fire and it's carnelian and it's carved in this beautiful kind of flame-like way. So that is, and also because a lot of you have been asking for crystals, and I have been craving some crystals in our lives, so I was able to find them, but hopefully we'll get them all here. Mars initiation box. Yes, there's a link to that. Okay. All right. Let's come in, get comfortable, and do the things that you need to do. If you have a candle, I have a very special candle that I actually, I did all sorts of collage work around so that we'd have a special candle for our gatherings on Friday, and I left it at home on the kitchen table. So next week we'll have a candle, but if you have your own candle, you can go ahead and light it now. Start to kind of pull away from the chat. For those of you who are new, I ask that you don't do any more chatting in the chat box while we're doing the meditation, so that we're all here in focus with one another in the energy. But also you're going to be closing your eyes, so we're going to be kind of connected loosely in the ethers, but you're going to be doing your own internal work. So we will keep it quiet. Emily just posted a little reminder of that, and I'm going to pin it for anyone who comes in late. And then for those of you, and I know that life is life, right? If you come in late, you come in late. It's not the end of the world. However, if in the future you come in late and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I missed the beginning, just slip right in. You know how to breathe. Do your breathing. And if you kind of miss the story, just stay in your breath, knowing that because we're all here together with intention, you're going to be picking up whatever is happening in the meditation as you go. Don't worry. You're included. Even though you might be a little confused for a little bit, you'll pick it up. Okay, let's quiet down. I'm going to encourage all of you to close your eyes and get comfy, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now that you have your eyes closed, start tuning into the natural flow of your breath. Just pay attention to the sound of your breath, your natural pace of breathing right now this morning, what that sounds like, what that feels like in your body. And then slowly begin to add intention to your breathing so that it lengthens, it goes deeper, longer. Same with the exhale. And play with the depth and the pace that you are intending for your breath. So you lengthen your in-breath, deepening how far that air flows into your body, and then savoring as much of that air as you can before you release it in a slow, long exhale. Again, because we play with the sensations until you land on a long, slow, deep rhythm that feels good in your body. And as you keep this breathing going, start checking in with your body. Are there places in your body that you feel a tension, a holding, discomfort? You can do a couple of things here. You can use your out breath as a way to focus and release any tension in any specific area of your body, but you can also wiggle around and move as you need to in order to feel more comfortable in the way that you're seated. Both can be of use and helpful to you. You can even direct your inhale right to that area. Let's say your shoulder is really tight. You can inhale there and then use the exhale to just completely collect that tension and exhale it out. You can do the same with distractions that might be coming up mentally. Acknowledge the distraction and then just exhale it out. Let it just be released. We're going to linger here for a little bit while you practice that. It's important to practice the effortless release of distractions. Oftentimes we get so frustrated when they come up, but they're just meant to come up. So we can practice just letting the breath wash it away after it's come up for you. Now, as you continue to breathe, place your palms flat up against your solar plexus so that your right hand is open and flat against it, and then your left hand is on top of your right so that they're flat against you. You're going to be holding yourself here gently but with intention, so that you're not pressing deeply or hard. You're just resting your hands over this power source in your body. And you're going to continue to hold yourself like this for the duration of the meditation. So get comfortable, get used to it while you continue to breathe in and exhale out. And slowly, as you begin to inhale and exhale again, focus your inhale and exhale from this place. So you're breathing into your solar plexus and you're exhaling from your solar plexus. Check in here a little bit. What does this part of your body feel like right now? Is there sensation there? Is there discomfort there? Is this a part of your body that you are aware of often? Continue to hold yourself here while breathing and just check in. Let whatever needs to come to the surface come to the surface. Always coming back to your breath if you get distracted or if things get disrupted. Continue to do the long, deep, intentioned inhale and slow exhale, but from your solar plexus, so that the air is almost pulled in from that place. Similar to your lungs, but a little different. There is a magnetic pull almost, where it's craving air. So the air is pulled in from your solar plexus, and then when you release, it comes out of this place as well. You might find that the flavor or themes of your distractions might shift a little bit here. Just acknowledge whatever comes up, and again, still using your breath to just release it and return to the breathing and to the part of your body that you're focusing on. And on your next inhale, I want you to start envisioning that the air that you're breathing in to your solar plexus is the color of that deep burnt orange that I showed you earlier. And if you're watching this on the replay and you're going to be doing this with actual fire or flame, this is when you would envision it. So you are inhaling this gorgeous deep color or a flame. But when you exhale, the color stays in your solar plexus, but the exhale itself is clear, crisp air. You inhale the color and you exhale clear air. As you do this, you might find that the pace might not fit anymore. It might not. So again, adjust the length and depth of your breath accordingly in terms of what feels most comfortable to this part of your body right now as you continue to breathe in the color and then release the clear air. If the visualization is challenging and becomes too much of a distraction, you can just layer the intention here that you know you've intended for the air that you breathe in will be this color and the air that you exhale will be clear. You just decide that it's so, even if you can't visualize it, and it is so. So trust that process as well. As you continue to do this, do another check-in. Has there been any shifts in your physical sensation or your body? Have the distractions shifted to something different? Do your hands feel any particular sensations? Run a circuit through your body to see if there's anything that's different or tense. If you find tension, again, use the out breath, still coming in and out of your solar plexus, but use your out breath to release some of that tension. And make note of anything that seems to be different right now. If you want to bring to mind something that you would like to start or initiate in your life, you can do so now while breathing in this color of fire. You don't have to do this now, but if you have something readily available that you want to ignite with more will and more motivation and more movement, you can bring it to mind now as an intention, and then on the next exhale, let it go. And return to the breathing, to the color, and to the sensation. Fire is an energizing force. It's a very passionate spark. So consider that what you're doing is you are fueling and feeding a power source in yourself with this energy. Each time you inhale, you bring it in. It's an elemental that is out and available for all beings. to work with and use. You're inhaling an energizing force, and when you release the air, you've kept that energizing force within you, and you're just releasing your breath. The breath is the vehicle for delivery. It's important to keep checking in with yourself because there is a point at which we reach our capacity for how much to take in at any given time. Sometimes we can take in a lot, sometimes we don't need that much, and it's a very little bit that we can take in. If you feel like you've reached that capacity, then you can return to just breathing in clear, uncolored air into your solar plexus and out from your solar plexus. You are the one who holds the controls here, so you're checking in frequently with your body, and if you feel like you've taken in too much because the energy feels it's too much or it's too fast or too hot, you can pull it back and return to just breathing in air. However, if you want to test your boundaries and you want to see just how much you can bring in, keep going. But know that you are the one who controls the knob here. You can dial it back or you can dial it up. Know that over time, your capacity to receive more will increase. So there's no need to push or move beyond what might feel comfortable at this time. When you feel complete, slowly begin to transition your breath from your solar plexus to your lungs again, letting your lungs bring the air in and send it back out, releasing the color that you're visualizing. And then you can relax your hands down to your sides and take a minute to calibrate yourself with your breath. doing several cycles of long, deep cleansing inhales and exhales. And from this place, check in with yourself again. How do you feel? What is different in your body and in your sensation field from when you started this meditation? And bringing this awareness out, start to allow your breath to just be natural in its pace and depth, and transition yourself back here to the present space, in the space that you're sitting, in the group that you're a part of, and back to your screen. If you need to, go ahead and take some time to write down anything in your journal that came up that you feel was noteworthy. And then if you need, or as you can, we can continue to chat in the chat box here. It is common to feel potentially a little lightheaded. It is also common if you are perimenopausal or menopausal to have a hot flash. These things are common. Fire is everywhere in our bodies. It's not just in our solar plexus, so it can exacerbate any major heated areas of our body. So just be aware of that. Those things are common, normal. When you decide, if you decide to do it with fire, sometimes you will feel digestive issues. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes it depends on where you are in your relationship and calibration with this element in your body. And it depends on your constitution. It can help increase metabolism. It can help increase digestion, but it can also, right, the poison and the medicine, if it's too much, it can actually throw that out of balance. So it's part of the work of a witch, particularly, to really start to fine tune your relationship and intimacy with your body so that you can be the one who determines, do you need more? Do you not need more? Over time, that won't be as much of a mystery, right? Because the more you pay attention to something, the more you're going to understand it, the more you're going to learn how and what it is that it needs. And we can do this kind of work with the other elements as well. Not necessarily particularly in this way, but we will cover those as well as time passes. So my recommendation for you is that if you are, for instance, we have a new moon coming. I have to look at my calendar. I don't remember, but in a week or so. And you want to do a spell to initiate something, to manifest something, and you want to come to the table, you want to come to the ritual, you want to come to the spell with a larger stock of power before you then ignite that spell and send it out into the world. Do this meditation as a preparation. feel yourself this way, feel your body this way, so that when you show up to the ritual or the spell or both, right? Sometimes a spell is a spell without a ritual. Sometimes they're both combined. Sometimes it's one and the same. You've come to the table with as much energy as you can provide yourself to do the thing that you're going to do. It can really add a new powerful layer to your working that shouldn't be underestimated. It can really pack a punch. And so it's a beautiful fine dance because you're adding energy to what your work is, but you're also adding energy to your body, and your body is going to have a response to that. And sometimes it's about really mitigating how much your body can hold. Over time, you'll find that your body will be able to hold more, but it's a slow process, and it also needs to take into account your constitution and what your body is actually needing. You might need to do other things to balance that out. So, like that. If there are any questions, any comments, go ahead and post them now. You all might still be a little bit in it. I need to find a quieter ice cup. These, I think you heard my ice jingling in my cup earlier. I am trying to find more creative ways to bring the body into our practice because it's such an overlooked, I don't want to call it a tool. It's such an overlooked part of who we are. And we have a really habituated tendency to detach from our body and live in our minds and live in our emotions and psychology and intellect. But we are still, I think, suffering from the massive brainwash that is this puritanical Abrahamic tradition where the body is less than the soul. And so we live in this very divided way that has been incredibly wounding for everybody. We are not separate things. We are all of it. We are the mind, the soul, the body, the personality. Like, we're a whole being, and the whole being is the body. And so the more we are embracing that, the more we've integrated fully back into who we really are, the more powerful our capacity for connecting, the more powerful our capacity for working with energy and understanding our own personal needs and rhythms and nature, as it is also outside of ourselves, right? Tasha is asking, have I ever used a scrying mirror? And yes, I have. We sent out scrying mirrors once a while back, maybe 2 years ago. It was quite beautiful. But yes, I have definitely used a scrying mirror. So like that, I'd love to hear this process. Like, if any of you take this on as part of your practice moving forward, I'd love to hear how that works out for you. I'm not going to do them in consecutive order, but we will be working with other elements as well, and potentially tying them into our body and our power points in our body. Yeah, like that, because I think it's an important direction to start going into. All right, you guys are a quiet bunch today, which is totally fine. We can end this now, and I can send you off into your day a little heated, a little stirred, a little ignited. Again, I'd love to hear how this experience is for you in terms of what you felt shifted, if anything. Because if you didn't, nothing went wrong. I would suggest keep doing it to see what comes up for you and what doesn't. And yeah, share below, because the other thing too is part of the sharing of our experiences is that it helps normalize what we might be feeling and thinking that we're the only ones feeling it. There's an important component to, I felt this particular energy shift. I felt lightheaded. I felt X, Y, and Z. And so felt those other three things as well. And so maybe that's a thing. I'll explore that a little bit more. It gives us context, and it gives us a sense of normalcy when it's very easy to dismiss things that might be subtle and on a subtle level. Does that make sense? So we've got the forum, but we also have the comment section here below, which people who are going to be commenting on this video below will generally be commenting about the experience of the meditation. So you can definitely use that for your own benefit as well, and to share with others so that they have the benefit of your experience as well. Um, you're welcome, Jamie. Thank all of you. I love that you keep showing up. And so I'm so really pleased and grateful that this is still of service. I'm feeling really inspired by it because it just all seems to fit in with all the other things that we're doing at the Witches Box. So it's a natural flow. And we'll be here. We'll be here next Friday, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll post the theme to next week's meditation sometime in the middle of next week. And yeah. And if you haven't subscribed and if you haven't given us a thumbs up, do those things too. If you subscribe, you're going to get the notification. I think you have to actually subscribe, click a bell, and then click something else as if, we need to say yes 3 times for something. It's just kind of, I don't want to blather on about YouTube, but it is what it is. You're welcome. You're welcome. I felt very full, like I was taking in too much air. No idea what that was about. That is your experience, Jamie. So that could be an indication of, for right now, you've taken in as much as you can, and that's totally fine. You might want to see if there are any remnant like side effects or effects to this throughout the rest of the day to kind of give you an indication of whether it's wise to push past that or not. If you feel like the discomfort isn't that big of a deal, the next time you pick this up, just kind of do a little couple of sips of air past that point of like, I'm feeling like it's too much, to see if that pushing just expands your capacity. If it feels like it's a little too adverse, you just dial it back. But it could be that you kind of hit up against, this is as much energy as your energy body will be able to hold right now comfortably. That will change. You will increase that over time. Oh my goodness, Julmar, you're all the fire. As an Aries sun fire in my seasoned year, I practiced equilibrium with fire energy before during menopause. It was necessary. Yeah, yes. And here's the thing, when women are in menopause, and sometimes perimenopause as well, you are in the fire. Like there's a lot of fire in the body. And so it could be destabilizing. It could be deeply purifying and cleansing, but in a very uncomfortable way. So again, it's about checking in. Your body is going to be at different phases of its development every single day. Checking in with where your body is at is paramount every day, always, for all things. It's not just this kind of meditation. So the checking in is part of the relationship. The checking in is part of the growing intimacy. And the checking in is part of the personal mastery over your energetic state and your craft as a witch, right? Beautiful. We'll do this again for sure. Wonderful. Yeah, I'd love to hear about your experiences. So definitely share when you do these again. All right. This was lovely and simple and sweet. And I'm going to go lay down with this stone somewhere right now because I love this. The carnelian is a really gorgeous stone. It's very powerful. Obviously very rooted in fire. So if you have a little bit of carnelian around the house, you can also, if you want to add some bells and whistles, candles certainly will help with that. And a stone will help with that as well. Cinnamon, having cinnamon around you, if you're having a hard time kind of tapping into the fire, or you want botanical allies to support the work. I love cinnamon for fire. We also sent out dill and fennel. Both are very fire oriented and Mars associated if you want to work specifically with Mars. So there are a lot of different bells and whistles that you can add to this kind of thing. But most of the time I find that it's very powerful just to sit and do the work internally. And that's just as good as having all the bells and whistles, although I love the bells and whistles a lot. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you showing up and know that you're weaving this work together. You're doing this on your own, but we're all buoyed by the fact that we're all meeting and doing this at the same time. And then when we're in the replay and you watch this later, you're tapping into this collective stream of all these witches doing this work at one point or another. It's a really beautiful, supportive way of doing this. And I just love that we get to do this together. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Do some play, and we will see you on the social medias and all the other things as we do for the rest of the week. Take care. Bye-bye.